Live from New Delhi, you're watching GD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Amritpal Singh. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, NATO defense ministers meet in key summit in Brussels. US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says NATO very close to consensus on 5% spending target. Russia says blowing up bridges in the country is terrorism. Stresses on taking into account the future talks. Ukraine does not acknowledge responsibility for the bridge attacks. And on World Environment Day, Prime Minister Modi calls to reinforce dedication for environmental conservation, plants Banyan sapling as part of the 700-kilometer Aravali Green Wall project in the national capital. NATO defense ministers are discussing how to meet Donald Trump's demand for significant increase in defense spending in Brussels today, less than 3 weeks ahead of the key summit of the alliance in The Hague. Ahead of the meeting, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte has proposed alliance members boost defense spending to 3.5% of GDP and commit a further 1.5% to broader security-related spending. He expects allies to agree on what he called historic new capability targets, adding that the goal is to better balance defense contributions between Europe, Canada and the United States.
That will be a considerable extra investment. And this is why I predict that in The Hague we will decide on a much higher spending target for all the nations in NATO. Because we have to invest in our air defense systems, we have to invest in our let's say long-range missiles, we have to invest in our maneuverable land formations, command and control systems. All of this has to happen. And these mean huge investments. We need all over NATO territory. And by the way, doing this will also equalize what we are spending with what the United States is spending.
Rutte also said there is a need to boost spending on air defenses, long-range missiles, land forces and command and control systems. However, details of the new investment plan will likely continue to be negotiated till the very eve of the NATO summit. NATO defense ministers also pledged support for 5% defense spending target to meet new NATO targets. Latvian Defense Minister Andris Spruds said that 5% spending is absolutely crucial. Sweden too echoed the same thing, saying it would like to see NATO reaching 5% defense spending in 2030. While Germany said it will need around 50,000 to 60,000 additional active troops under the new NATO targets. Besides this, German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius said that NATO should make it clear in its summit declaration that Russia is its greatest threat. While Spain said that it stands by its defense spending target of 2% of GDP, Spanish Defense Minister Margarita Robles said this as pressure grows from NATO leadership and United States for the Mediterranean country to increase it. She added that what is important is that each country is able to meet the objectives it has set for itself. On the sidelines of the meeting, US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth asserted that NATO allies are nearing a consensus on committing to 5% of GDP to defense spending.
Each country is going to make that determination, but this alliance, we believe, in a matter of weeks will be committing to 5%, 3.5% in hard military and 1.5% in infrastructure and defense-related activities. That combination constitutes a real commitment, and we think every country can step up.
Russia has said it will respond to Ukraine's latest attacks as and when its military sees fit. Kremlin said this on Thursday, accusing Kiev of state terrorism and confirming that President Vladimir Putin had told Donald Trump that Moscow was obliged to retaliate. Ukraine had used drones to strike Russian heavy bomber planes at air bases in Siberia and the far north at the weekend, and Russia also accused it of blowing up rail bridges in the south of the country, killing 7 people. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov highlighted comments made by Putin a day earlier about the railway attacks. Russia has not yet provided evidence that Ukrainian leaders ordered the rail attacks, and Kiev has not acknowledged responsibility. The spokesman noted, however, that Putin had supported the view of Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov at a meeting on Wednesday that working-level contacts with Ukraine should continue. US President Donald Trump signed a new travel ban preventing people from a dozen countries from entering the United States, reviving one of the most controversial measures from his first term. There are additional 7 countries whose nationals face partial travel restrictions. The countries facing the total ban were found to be deficient in screening and vetting and reportedly pose a very high risk to the United States.
US President Donald Trump signed a proclamation on Wednesday banning the nationals of 12 countries from entering the United States, saying the move is needed to protect against foreign terrorists and other security threats.
Today, I am signing a new executive order placing travel restrictions on countries including Yemen, Somalia, Haiti, Libya, and numerous others. The strength of the restrictions we're applying depends on the severity of the threat posed. The list is subject to revision based on whether material improvements are made, and likewise, new countries can be added as threats emerge around the world.
The move bans all travel to the United States by nationals of Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. It will go into effect on June 9th. Trump also imposed a partial ban on travelers from 7 countries: Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. Some temporary work visas from these countries will be allowed. Trump said the measure was spurred by a makeshift flamethrower attack on a Jewish protest in Colorado that U.S. authorities blamed on a man they said was in the country illegally.
The recent terror attack in Boulder, Colorado, has underscored the extreme dangers posed to our country by the entry of foreign nationals who are not properly vetted, as well as those who come here as temporary visitors and overstay their visas. We don't want them. Very simply, we cannot have open migration from any country where we cannot safely and reliably vet and screen those who seek to enter the United States. But we will not allow people to enter our country who wish to do us harm, and nothing will stop us from keeping America safe.
The ban will, however, not apply to athletes competing in the 2026 World Cup, which the United States is co-hosting with Canada and Mexico, as well as the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. The proclamation is the second time Trump has ordered a ban on travel from certain countries. He signed a similar order in 2017. During his first term in office, Trump announced a ban on travelers from 7 majority Muslim nations, a policy that went through several iterations before it was upheld by the Supreme Court in 2018. Anamika Pandey's report, DD India.
And let's now take a look at other stories making news around the world. Deep within southern Albania's Josa Valley, the town of Permet has cultivated a vibrant identity centered around the rose flower. This community transforms harvested rose petals into a range of products, including perfumes, flavored water, and Turkish delights. These popular rose-infused sweets are a local staple, attracting thousands of visitors to experience Permet's unique floral culture. Hundreds of bus drivers protested acute fuel shortages, causing widespread queues at petrol stations in La Paz, capital city of Bolivia, on Thursday. This pervasive lack of fuel is attributed to Bolivia's ongoing economic crisis exacerbated by scarcity of US dollars essential for importing and subsidizing petroleum products. The United Nations General Assembly during its 79th session in New York adopted a resolution designating July 11th as the World Horse Day. The initiative, championed by Mongolian President, will see the first official observance of the World Horse Day later this year. And still to come up on this edition of DD India Live, a big boost to connectivity between Kashmir Valley and prominent pilgrimage destinations. Regular services of 2 Vande Bharat trains between Srinagar and Vaishno Devi, Katra to begin from the 7th of June. A top Maoist leader killed in encounter in Chhattisgarh. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Amritpal Singh. The government of India, led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, completed 11 years in office. The government is celebrating the first anniversary of the third term of the government. On this occasion, Prime Minister Narendra Modi shared a video on social media platform X, highlighting the government's major achievements in the last 11 years. Prime Minister Modi said over the past decade, the NDA government has taken path-breaking steps to uplift several people from the clutches of poverty, focusing on empowerment, infrastructure and inclusion. All government's key schemes transform the lives of the poor. Initiatives like PM Awas Yojana, PM Ujjwala Yojana, Jan Dhan Yojana and Ayushman Bharat have enhanced access to housing, clean cooking fuel, banking and health care. The push for direct benefit transfer, digital inclusion and rural infrastructure has ensured transparency and faster delivery of benefits till the last mile. Over 25 crore people have defeated poverty due to these schemes. Prime Minister Modi further said that the government remains committed to building an inclusive and self-reliant India where every citizen has the opportunity to live with dignity. And Prime Minister Modi will be visiting the region on 6th of June, where he'll be flagging off Vande Bharat trains. Besides, he will be inaugurating the Chenab Bridge and visit the bridge deck, also the Anji Bridge. The architectural marvel Chenab Rail Bridge, situated at a height of 359 meters above the river, is the world's highest railway arch bridge. It is a 1,315 meter long steel arch bridge engineered to withstand seismic and wind conditions. A key impact of the bridge will be enhancing connectivity between Jammu and Srinagar through the Vande Bharat train moving on the bridge. It will just take about 3 hours travel between Katra and Srinagar, reducing the existing travel time by 2 to 3 hours. The Anji Bridge is India's first cable-stayed rail bridge that will serve the nation in a challenging terrain. Now, this bridge, as we said, is over the Chenab River in the northern Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Regular rail services of the Vande Bharat Express trains between Srinagar and Shri Mata Vaishno Devi Katra will begin from the 7th of June, that's this Saturday. The services will operate 6 days a week, enhancing connectivity between the Kashmir Valley and the prominent pilgrimage destination. 2 pairs of Vande Bharat Express trains will run on the Katra-Srinagar route with intermediate steps at Banyan. Addressing the India Central Asia Business Council in New Delhi, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said that digital platforms are redefining global trade. He expressed India's readiness to partner with Central Asian nations on transformative platforms like UPI, Aadhaar and DigiLocker. Jaishankar also highlighted the role of AI and digital innovation in unlocking the full potential of India's Central Asia trade ties.
We are meeting at a time when e-commerce platforms, blockchains, cross-border digital payments are transforming the way the world interacts, trades and affects payments. And India would be very happy to partner on about platforms like the UPI, like Aadhaar, like DigiLocker with our Central Asian partners. And certainly greater use of digital technologies and AI applications will help us unlock the full potential of our trade and economic ties.
Foreign ministers of 4 Central Asian countries including Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan and Kyrgyzstan are visiting India to attend the 4th India-Central Asia Dialogue. The leaders today met with External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar in New Delhi. Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Kazakhstan met Dr. Jaishankar, during which both leaders discussed various facets of the strategic partnership, focusing on political, trade, investment and energy cooperation. They also spoke about widening connectivity with the Central Asia region. During the meeting, Jaishankar appreciated Kazakhstan leaders' support of zero tolerance for terrorism. The two sides also signed a program of cooperation for strengthening India-Kazakhstan ties. And the External Affairs Minister also held a meeting with Tajikistan Foreign Minister. Both leaders agreed on the need to firmly counter terrorism in our region. They shared views on furthering our cooperation, including deeper trade, investment and connectivity ties. And the Foreign Minister of Turkmenistan also met Dr. Jaishankar. The two leaders held warm exchange on deepening our cooperation, particularly in trade, investment, connectivity, health and energy sectors. Jaishankar welcomed his strong condemnation of terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. And the Foreign Minister of Kyrgyzstan also met with Dr. Jaishankar, is in New Delhi to participate in the dialogue. India's global outreach on Operation Sindoor is now in its final leg. Out of 7 multi-party delegations carrying the message of India's principled and resolute stand against terrorism, 5 delegations have now returned home, concluding their successful visit to respective countries. Today, 2 of them met with External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar in the national capital. The minister met the all-party delegation led by Sanjay Jha that visited Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Indonesia and Malaysia. The External Affairs Minister also interacted with the all-party delegation led by Kanimori that visited Russia, Latvia, Slovenia, Greece and Spain. 7 delegations visited several countries, put forth India's position on Pakistan's decades-long promotion of terrorism and New Delhi's new normal in tackling cross-border terror after Operation Sindoor. On the occasion of the World Environment Day today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in a tree plantation drive and planted a sapling at the Bhagwan Mahavir Vanasthali Park in Delhi, strengthening the Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam initiative. The Prime Minister also highlighted the importance of reforesting the Aravalli range under the Aravalli Green Wall project. The Prime Minister noted that Aravalli range, one of the oldest on this planet, spans Gujarat, Rajasthan, Haryana and Delhi. Prime Minister Modi also urged the youth of the country to actively participate in the movement and contribute to enhancing the green cover of the planet. The Prime Minister also flagged off electric buses under an initiative of the Delhi government aimed at boosting sustainable development and clean urban mobility. The Prime Minister stated that the initiative will contribute to building a clean and green Delhi. He further noted that this step will also improve the ease of living for the people of Delhi. And on the occasion of the World Environment Day, Prime Minister Modi planted a sindoor sapling at his residence in New Delhi. The plant was gifted to him by the brave mothers and sisters of Kutch in Gujarat, who had displayed extraordinary courage and patriotism during the 1971 India-Pakistan war. Recalling his recent visit to Gujarat, the Prime Minister said the gift of a sindoor plant will remain a strong symbol of bravery and inspiration of the women power of our country. In a major boost to economic ties, India and Kyrgyzstan have officially ratified their bilateral investment treaty. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and Kyrgyz Foreign Minister Zinbek Kulubayev exchanged the instruments of ratification in New Delhi. Originally signed in 2019 in Bishkek, the treaty will come into force from today, replacing the older agreement from 2000. The treaty aims to provide a secure, transparent and balanced investment environment, protecting investors' interests while upholding the regulatory rights of both nations. The third edition of the International Conference on Arbitrating Indo-UK Commercial Disputes, which was held at Church House, Westminster in London, focusing on the theme Synergizing India-UK Arbitration Practices. The inaugural address was delivered by Justice Bhushan Ramakrishna Gavai, the Chief Justice of India, who highlighted the importance of arbitration as a tool for effective dispute resolution in international commerce. He also underscored India's commitment to becoming a global hub for arbitration by strengthening legal infrastructure and promoting the ease of doing business. The conference also featured keynote address by Arjun Ram Meghwal, India's Minister of Law and Justice, and Lord Briggs, Justice of the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom. The conference served as a platform for thought-provoking discussions on best practices, reforms and emerging trends in arbitration across both jurisdictions.
In light of the expanding trade and investment flows between India and UK, the need for an effective, reliable, cost-efficient and timely dispute resolution process has never been more pressing. In international commercial arbitration, where the parties hail from two distinct countries, such as India and UK, the arbitration framework plays a crucial role in shaping the entire process of dispute resolution.
Moving on now, an intense encounter is underway between the security forces and Maoists in the National Park area of Bijapur district of Chhattisgarh. As per initial reports, the Central Committee member of CPI Maoist Sudhakar Ilyas Narsingha Chalam has been gunned down during the operation. He was one of the most wanted left-wing extremists with a bounty of 1 crore rupees on his head and was wanted in multiple cases across Telangana, Chhattisgarh and Maharashtra. Updates now from the sports world. A day after the tragic stampede, Royal Challengers Bengaluru announced a compensation of 10 lakh rupees each for the families of victims in the Bengaluru stampede. The team has also stated that they will set up a support fund for the people injured on June 4th. A large crowd had gathered outside the Chinnaswamy Stadium to be part of the felicitation ceremony for the RCB players after they won the IPL 2025 title. Overcrowding at the stadium led to a stampede, killing 11 people and leaving several injured. That's it in this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. The app is available both on Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR codes you see on your screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Amritpal Singh. From my entire team here in Delhi, thank you for watching DD India Live.